not just a chef, he's a storyteller. The game is trying to guess what the overarching theme of the entire meal is going to be. You won't know till the end.
Hello friends, my name is Stevie Cade and welcome to Film Trigger. I'm a little late to the game on this movie, but I'm glad I finally arrived.
Welcome to the party, pal!
The movie, The Menu. This movie came out a few weeks ago and I honestly didn't really have much interest in it, and then I started hearing a lot of really good things about it, and I was home bored one night and I decided to put this thing on, and my God, am I so glad I did. But before we dive into all that, if you could, hit that like, thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and the little bell ding thing so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's dive into my review for The Menu.
It's okay.
No, we're gonna die tonight.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm a little late to the game on this one, but I also feel like a lot of people are as well, because I'm starting to see more buzz about this movie, which is why I decided to do a review so late in the game. And I absolutely love this film for a galaxy of different reasons, for reasons I thought I would and for reasons I didn't think I would at all. So let's dive immediately into what I do like about this film. Myself being a cook and have cooked at fairly fine dining restaurants with an uppity atmosphere, I really appreciate what this movie showcases in the arts of food making, creating, and tasting, and how much passion actually goes into being a cook and a chef and being a foodie all around. But I also really love how this movie pokes fun at those people at the same time. How serious not only the cooks can take their work, but also the patrons of the restaurant.
One of his classics. You have to try the mouthfeel of the mignonette.
Please don't say mouthful.
Because this movie breaks down like upper class, well-to-do, overprivileged types like food critics who are doing nothing but sucking each other's dicks. You have everybody from greedy businessmen who think they're better than everybody else, to the rich and elite who are just there because, well, they can afford it. And we break down these characters and expose them for what they really are through the course of The Menu. And that's the aspect that makes this movie just more than a foodie movie.
The pictures, they're of us.
This guest list. How do they get these? It's not good.
Because when I first started watching this movie, I hadn't seen a trailer, I didn't watch a review, I didn't know anything about this movie. And in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is a foodie movie. I'm 100% on board. But this is more than a foodie movie. This is almost an anti-foodie movie. And just in the same light, this movie ended up being kind of a murder mystery. But again, it's like an anti-murder mystery because you know who the murderer is. It flips that whole concept on its head. It becomes a whodunit to, okay, we know who done it, but what's happening next? And each table that sits at this restaurant has those elites, has those rich people, has those well-to-do people that just are smug, nasty folk. And in this sea of the well-to-dos, you have this diamond in the rough, if you will. A wrench in the gears, and that's Margot, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And this is such an amazing, well-written character. Anya's performance is not only bold, she stands up for herself and takes absolutely zero bullshit, as opposed to the brown-nosers that are her peers in this film. And she just happens to be there. She was invited third hand, and she's at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And her character being in this position really throws off the menu, because the movie makes it very clear that the menu was written specifically for each person at each table individually. And she's not supposed to be there, and it really throws the chef off. It confuses him. It makes him wonder who she is, why she's there, and it throws off his entire artistic vision, which unfolds slowly throughout the movie, and you realize just how morbid that vision actually is, and where does she fit in this film? And that's what this movie does. It asks the question of where this lady fits into all of this wildness that's going on in this restaurant.
Who are you?
I am Margot. Why do you care?
I have to know if you're with us or with them.
And the head chef, played by Reiss, is another aspect I love about this movie. He's very mysterious. We don't learn much about him, but at the same time, we dive deep into his soul through food, specifically a cheeseburger, but that's spoilers, so I'm not gonna go into the details of that. If you wanna know what those are, well, watch the fucking movie. And the chef himself is pretty much disconnected from the world, except for his main focal point, which is his menu. Another great performance, they're all great performances, but one of the more standout performances is John Leguizamo. And I love John Leguizamo. I've always loved John Leguizamo, and I was a little hard on him on my Violent Night review because I felt like he phoned in his performance. So I'm really glad to see that's not a consistent thing in his acting career moving forward. He shows up as a smug, old A-list actor who thinks he's better than he is, or at least acting like he's better than he is. And I love when movies do this. I love when movies have actors playing actors being terrible actors. Not necessarily terrible actors like their acting is terrible, but them just being pompous, terrible people who think they're better than they are, who think, oh, everybody loves me, I'm the star of the show, and I'm here to rub it in y'all's faces. I think it's a very humbling part for any actor to play, and John Leguizamo knocks it out of the park in this film. Another wonderful performance is Nicholas Hoult. Now, Nicholas Hoult has not really been on my radar. Like, I know the movies he's been in, but he's been meh, okay. And honestly, I had a hard time with him playing the Beast in the X-Men movie because I really enjoyed Kelsey Grammer's version. So he had an uphill battle impressing me, but in this movie, Nicholas Hoult really does impress me. I 100% buy his performance of being this foodie snob who knows every procedure, who knows every technique, but has absolutely no talent himself.
12 customers total.
How do they turn a profit?
$12.50 a head, that's how.
What are we eating, a Rolex?
It's one of his classics.
I think the movie is shot very well. It's visually stunning, and the plates of food just look absolutely beautiful. But at the same time, they have a hint of smugness to them, a hint of rubbing it into the guest's face and making fun of its own patrons, which is the point of the movie. So I think the movie did a great job portraying this and sharing that narrative with the audience. So I was 100% on board all the way, and very curious of where it was going to go about halfway through. And then the plot twists, and when it twists completely upside down. I absolutely loved it. It was a twist that M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong would absolutely love. But at the same time, there are some things I am on the fence about when it comes to this film. There is a connection between Anya Taylor-Joy's character Margot and another character in this movie that I found to be unnecessary. And it's a very small connection, which is why I'm on the fence with it, but narratively speaking, Margot's character is a fish out of water. She's not supposed to be here today. She's not part of the master plan, and I love that disconnect of the character. It's what makes her special. But it did tie her character to another character that is in this movie. I found that connection to kind of taint the isolation that Margot's character is in, just because of the way that she ended up to the dinner party. She was invited by a third party, and her showing up and happened to know somebody else on another table is quite the big coincidence. And again, it doesn't really play into the story too much, and how it did play into the story honestly could have just been written a little differently. They didn't have to make that connection, and it doesn't really pay off in the end. And also in this movie, there's a pretty pointless try and escape moment.
We now offer you a 45-second head start. Okay, 45 seconds starts now.
I get the concept to really hit home that nobody could really escape the situation, but at the same time, I just felt like it just wasted 10 minutes of the movie. If you pluck that scene out of the movie, it doesn't change anything else in the film. It was just there as filler, and I thought for a movie that does pretty well, bringing everything into a narrative space, it just didn't need to be there. Overall, this movie captures my attention in many ways. As a foodie, I enjoy the art of the dishes. I enjoy the passion of the cooks.
Here we are family. We harvest, we ferment, we gel.
They gel.
We gel.
I love murder mysteries, and I love whodunits. It took my expectations and it flipped it halfway through the movie, and I love when movies do that. I ended up loving this movie for a completely different reason than I thought I would love it when it first started. This movie pulled me in with things that I love and enjoy and completely flipped them upside down and made me enjoy it even more. And for all these reasons, I'm giving this movie an A+.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
That was great!
There you have it, guys. There's my grade for The Menu. Yes, it's a very high grade. I thought this was a very high grade film. Please let me know your thoughts of this movie in the comments below. I know some people don't like it. As a matter of fact, I asked a guy at work to watch this movie. I said, dude, you're going to love this movie. He couldn't even make it 20 minutes in. So obviously, this movie's not for everybody. So let me know your thoughts. Where do you land with this movie? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you hate it? And also let me know why in the comment section below. Start that conversation. Also, be sure to check out some more of my videos. And as always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.
Happy birthday to you.
You told him it was my birthday?
Seemed funny about 3 hours ago.